Wait.
I don't know if we got that last little bit there, but welcome back to the Morning Nuke. I'm your co-host, Nathaniel Pavoloni, along with my good friends Michael Dawson, I'm sorry, and
Bruh.
Christopher Edwin Pewitt. Welcome back to the Morning Nuke. Thank you for our loyal subscribers and listeners for coming back. We have a quite a review over the weekend. Man, can we just all agree we suck at predictions? Like we just
Yeah.
suck. Nothing
We
is what it seems. Everything's stupid. I mean, can
we
we all
suck.
just agree? So we had
Why are
quite
you
an
laughing like
amazing
that?
weekend with college football. We won't even get started on Arch Manning, but we'll get there. But and if honestly, I guess I don't even know what was more surprising was the college football weekend or the NFL. But like it was honestly just like a wild weekend. So we're gonna open with our amazing college football weekend. I mean, it's just unbelievable some of the games are played.
Insane.
So
Yeah.
why don't we just
Yeah.
get Texas? I'm sorry, did you have something on?
Yeah. I was just gonna say I have no idea what's gonna happen anymore in college football. Like I have no idea. I could make a few predictions on the Natty, but I have no idea.
Well, I've been saying I think it was going to be Ohio State and Penn State.
You were very
Now I'm
wrong.
leaning more toward Ohio State and Ohio, uh, Ohio
Yeah,
State
Ohio's
and
gonna make a comeback.
Ohio State. Well, they can't. They've already lost too many games. Anyway, Ohio State and Miami is my prediction as of today. Just for the record. Okay. Um, why don't we just get Texas and Florida out of the way? I watched that whole game
Huge.
start to finish. I was actually at my grandma's house. I think she enjoyed watching me more than she watched the game. But what a game! I mean, oh yeah, we said we're gonna have her on the podcast, right? Isn't that what we said?
Yeah, we should. We'll get her on the podcast eventually.
Yeah,
She
definitely.
was a big Arch Manning fan, just like I was, and now she's like what did she say? She
Number
said
one
his
hater.
well, she's not a hater, but she's just like, yeah, his peak in his career was just in high school. I was like, all right, Gramps. Anyway, so okay, so I'll let you guys jump in about this. I just want to say what I need to say about Texas versus Florida really quick.
Yeah.
Florida was 1-3 going into this game. Texas was 3-1 for good reasons because they only played easy teams after they lost to Ohio State, which again was a good game for Texas except for Arch Manning. Like they played
Yeah.
well. It's just Arch Manning did not play well. When you only let two touchdowns in the horseshoe, um, that's a good game for their defense. And then their defense just fell apart in the swamp. I don't know what it was. It certainly wasn't because Florida's offense is better, unless they just had a breakthrough in their practices. Like DJ Lagway is not like
No,
he
not at all.
he's not getting all the attention like Arch Manning is because he's not his last name isn't Manning, but he has been also like hyped up just as much as Arch Manning in his performance, and he has not been delivering. They're very much in the same boat, so everybody was curious about how this game was going to go. I was saying that this was probably going to be a competition between, or it was going to come down to Steve Sarkisian versus Billy Napier, and it sort of did. And we'll get to it in a second, but Billy Napier made a crap call at the end of the game, and it almost cost him. I won't say it almost cost him the game, but it gave Texas the opportunity to almost tie the game up. And if they had had a little bit more time, I think they could have gotten that extra touchdown, and probably would have gotten that two pointer conversion, and then they would have gone to overtime, and then who knows what would have happened. I still think they would have lost, but still, like, I think Arch Manning just suffers more than anything, suffers on the road because he's not used to the noise. I think the horseshoe was too much for him for his first game, and then he was expecting Florida to come in there and beat Florida, and then the Florida fans were just on fire. They were just lit up. I mean, really, like you could just hear it even on the TV. They were just fired up. And I won't review everything about the game, even toward the end, but I think the most hectic part of the game were the last 10 minutes of that game because the final 10 minutes was really where it came down to, like it does in most games, but the the Gators didn't score at all in the fourth quarter. Texas got, I think it was 10 points. They didn't get a field goal. They got a touchdown in the fourth quarter, and it was then 21-29. They've been trailing the whole game. They've been playing terrible. Their defense just couldn't hold I forget his name, Jay Bond or something like that. Whoever the running
Yeah.
back for Florida was. But the star of the game by far was Dallas Wilson, the brand new wide receiver for Florida, made his debut game yesterday or on Saturday. Crazy, crazy opener. I don't even remember his stats, but he just ran so many yards. He broke like two tackles for a near touchdown from the Texas defense. Like it was just wild. Like he just mopped the floor with Texas, and
Yeah.
and really he was the star of the show. And so he was one of the reasons why they lost, why they beat Texas, because his debut really just overcame them. And the final 10 minutes, they were catching up, and everybody was wondering what was going to happen after that last touchdown. And I will admit, Arch Manning threw some good throws, but I think he was what, 16 for 29? Was that
Yeah, he
accurate?
was.
Like, and again, I honestly don't want to really blame him. He played better than he played at Ohio State theoretically, but the reason he performed more poor is because his offensive line really just crapped the bed tonight, or
Terrible.
that during that
Yeah.
game. They really were the reason. Because in that game against Ohio State offense is great, but they were able to give him all the time in the world to throw the ball and pick and go to his third and fourth reads, and he would just botch the ball. This time he didn't have time to even look at his first read. I mean, they would just pounce on through, and I don't really know why that was. And again, it's not because Florida's defense, in my opinion, is better than Ohio State's, but I don't really know why that was. But Jensen, I'll let you chime in. I've said enough.
111 yards, 2 touchdowns. So for a debut game, that's insane.
Wild.
Um, DJ Lagway actually played pretty good after coming off. I think he threw 5 interceptions against LSU, which is terrible. I think he only threw one this game. 21 for 28, only 7 missed passes. Threw for like 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. The only 2 touchdowns were to Dallas Wilson.
Yeah.
Uh, Florida beat uh, Texas by almost 10 minutes in time of possession. 34 minutes of total possession time. Total yards 457. Like I said, 298 pass yards. Rushing, they just beat the brakes off Texas. 159 yards rushing to Texas 52. I
52.
think they
And
beat
you know what? Most of that was Arch Manning.
for rushing. Texas averaged 2 yards per rush, 26 attempts, 52 total yards. Just terrible. Um,
Stop eating ice
Florida's
cream, bro. Stop
Hey,
eating ice cream.
I like ice cream, okay?
you're so fat, bro. Uh,
No, bro, I'm like the smallest guy among the three of us. Also,
Fatty yapping.
okay,
this
stop talking.
this isn't a sponsorship.
Stop talking.
We can't see it, bro.
Tillamook ice cream
The
is
podcast.
just
Oh no.
Stop. Okay.
have a
Sponsors,
seriously,
please.
not even a sponsor.
Okay, as I was saying before, Fatty over here interrupted. Talking about food. Florida's defense played great. I think Florida's defense is solid. They only allowed, I think it was 20 points against LSU, which is a solid team. Definitely a top 10 team, I'd say. 6 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 2 pass deflections. A lot of that was probably Arch Manning's poor decision making into coverage. 2 intercept Florida's offense, an opportunity to score. Even if Florida's offense isn't that good, their defense still set them up for success. Like I've been saying, like for the past 6 or 7 weeks, you have to play complementary football. You can't just, defense creates a turnover or an opportunity, a fourth down stop, something, and then the offense goes out there and goes 3 and out, and then you give the ball right back to the offense, and then your defense is out there and your defense gets worn out. Eventually, they're not going to be able to make those fourth down stops or big plays or turnovers, and you lose the game because you couldn't capitalize off of what your defense is giving you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Arch Manning is. I just think that he's not used to this kinds of defense, and you would think that playing against his own defense, he would get that kind of practice. But again, you don't really know. Again, their Texas defense is trying to stomp the quarterback and the offensive line during practice. They're not trying to really necessarily win a scrimmage, but when push comes to shove, it's really down to the game itself. So they're going to start pulling out all kinds of plays, and honestly, I also blame a little bit on a little bit of this loss on Sark too. I mean, Steve Sarkisian did not really. He made some rough calls throughout the game, like he did against Ohio State. Against these are they have yet to win a conference game. So again, they can only lose. They can't lose anymore. They have lost their final game before their playoff hopes vanish. They have to win against Oklahoma, and I think Oklahoma is a way tougher opponent than Florida, and also they got to play Oklahoma at home as well. So they got to play the Sooners at home. who, in my opinion, I mean, they're much further down the list. Texas, by the way, fell off the AP list, the AP top 25,
Yeah, I think that's valid. I think
and so did Penn State, by the way. We'll get
yeah,
to Penn
I think
State, but
that's
like,
very valid. Yeah, we've said, the AP poll is kind of garbage. But Texas definitely doesn't deserve to be in the top 25. Penn State, after losing terribly to UCLA, definitely doesn't deserve to be in the top 25.
I
I think
mean, I
Texas
think they
is
do.
there's
I
no
think you
shot at
just
them
have
making the
bad
playoffs.
games. I think you just have bad days. But again, I'm questioning whether or not Penn State. I mean, can Penn State make
Arch
it?
Manning has a bad day every day.
Well, again, I'm not talking about Texas. I'm talking about Penn State. But okay. Anyway, but yeah, wild game. Let's move
Penn
on to
State
Carson
can't.
Beck.
Okay, let,
Let's move on to Carson Beck versus Florida State. Not
okay.
really a shock. I will say the UVA win doesn't look near. Sorry, Chris, but the UVA win doesn't look near as good now that they lost against
Oh
NIU.
no.
But
Wait a minute.
Okay,
No.
so you said that. So Florida's the number 2 team in the country. You said that they are. You see them and Ohio State in the Natty. So that win
yes,
You're cutting
look
out.
good. If Florida State is losing by under what? Oh, my
you cut
fault.
out. Say it again.
So how much did you hear and how much did you not hear?
The last 10 seconds I missed.
Okay. So
You
if
said
you're saying that Florida State or Florida is a natty contender,
Miami.
no,
top
no,
2 team.
Miami. I said Miami is a Florida
Okay,
is a
my
Natty
fault.
contender.
Pardon me. It's all in Florida, so I wasn't wrong. If you're saying that Miami is the natty contender, they're a top 2 team, and they beat Florida State by 6 points.
It doesn't matter. They won is the point.
Yes.
Yeah,
Carson
and
Beck
you
is
beat
Carson Beck is clearly
We won too.
more free. I mean, again, his injury didn't help things, but and again, it was a bad injury too. But like, I think that now that he's not dating Hannah Cavender anymore, and he's now
I
transferred to
think that's
Miami, I
definitely
think he's more free. Serious, I'm dead
What?
serious. I think between those two things,
bro.
the man
Big
is
deal?
free, and he is playing a
Okay,
way
so if
better game
Justin
than he was
Herbert
playing
breaks
for
up with
Georgia.
Madison Beer, do you think he'd play better?
Yes.
I don't know because I don't know anything about her. Anyway,
Okay. As I was saying, you said that the UVA win doesn't look as good now. Florida State only lost by 6 points to the number 2 team, natty contender.
I'm just saying because Florida State couldn't even beat Miami.
Okay, when you say couldn't even beat, that kind of negates what you said earlier when you said
Because-
they're a natty contender.
No, I'm just
Oh,
saying
they couldn't
because
even
Florida
beat the
State
number
is
2 team
supposed
in
to
the
be a good
country. Oh
team.
man, they suck.
Florida State beat not too long ago. They beat Georgia 70-0. That was only a few years ago. And yet
College football is so it's so much of a roller coaster. You can't say, "Oh, this team a few years ago did this and that."
I'm just saying Florida State is not
The
known
2025
for its good for
Well,
its competitiveness.
Florida
Also-
State Hurricane, Miami. I'm
I think
guys.
I think, yeah, I understand what we guys are both saying in that, yes, Miami won pretty well against Florida State. But I mean, it was what 28-22 or 27-21. Like it was a close game and Miami let them like come back somewhat. And UVA beat them by 8 points. So I think this game, yeah, I think it does show that like UVA, I think they're better than 19th, which is what they're ranked currently.
I disagree, but I'm just surprised that they're in the top 25 at all. Like the fact that they've been able to make it this far is incredible. So I
Yeah,
think
I
19
think
is a good
they're-
number, and I think they're going to get better. I think they might. I don't know who they're playing next, but they might win again. I think that they can keep going.
We have
I would say
a very easy schedule. We're gonna win out. I'm pretty confident.
Wait, so Chris, they're not eligible to play in the Natty, is that correct? Or can
Yeah,
they
they are.
theoretically make the playoffs?
Definitely.
they could.
So
100%.
who do they have to play? So do they have any more conference games?
So basically, right now we're undefeated in ACC play. If we go undefeated, then I think it's like the top
Yep.
2 teams in the ACC play each other, which
In
probably
the Sugar Bowl.
I don't know what it's called. Probably.
I'm just
Um,
asking. That's right.
Then so that'll probably be us versus either Miami or Georgia Tech, who are both undefeated in ACC play right now. But
Right, and they probably won't beat Miami because I mean I don't know, maybe.
I don't know,
I mean
man.
Carson Beck might have a bad day because that's what we said about Penn State via UCLA, and they got slacked by UCLA.
Yeah,
Never
I think
know.
that Georgia Tech is I don't see UVA beating out either Georgia Tech or Miami to play even in the ACC championship.
Well,
Um,
the thing is, like, we actually don't even play either team. Like we play Carolina, we play Cal, we play Duke, but if we win all those games, which are pretty easy, and if like Miami loses one game or like one game in the ACC, then we're set. Um,
to play in the playoffs.
no, to play in the championship because right now I think since we lost one game outside of ACC play, um. I think it's like after ACC record, it's like overall record. And if we have a worse record than Miami or or and Georgia Tech, then we don't play in the championship.
Okay. So we
But
just have to beat out Georgia Tech. Or you guys have to beat out Georgia Tech.
exactly, it's
Okay.
complicated. But
So
you know,
what if they make it to the Natty and it's Ohio State?
oh, we're winning
that's not
that
going to
game,
happen.
boys.
Slaughter,
We
sorry, murder,
hell no,
genocide.
hell no.
Okay, so we all know UVA is not actually going to make it to the playoffs. So back on
Says
what game were we talking about?
says who, bro?
Reality.
Um, you're talking about Miami, Florida State. Miami won. Next game, Penn State, UCLA.
What a game. I
Crazy.
think I saw a stat or something. This was the first time that an 0-4 team had beat a top five, top 10 team since something like 1999 or something like that. It's crazy.
Crazy. And again, Penn State is not a bad team by any means. I still think it's a bit dramatic to throw them completely off the edge of the cliff, off the
Yeah,
AP
I
poll. And
don't.
again, we all know what crap that AP poll is. I'm just saying that for
Yeah,
the voters to say that, okay, we're gonna take you completely off from what is it, number four they were? Or number three?
I think they were number seven.
Well, even okay, top 10 off of the cliff. Again, Texas, I understand because I think if it was the first game, they only went down to number seven, and then after this game, it was different. And again, they lost. They went down in the poll even after beating UTEP because of how poorly Arch Manning played against UTEP, and they even went further down. But um, did you guys notice that Miami took number one and Ohio State's now number two? I thought that was
That didn't
interesting.
happen.
Yeah, it did.
That's fake.
No, it's on the poll.
That's
Miami
fake.
is Miami is number one. Ohio State is number two.
That's fake. Hold up. Let me see this.
Okay. Anyway,
Right?
Yeah, no, you're
continuing on to Penn
tweaking.
State via
That's not.
UCLA.
Are you looking at the official AP poll?
The official AP poll says Ohio State at number two, Miami number
No, it
one.
doesn't.
No.
Am I tweaking?
I
I
think
think you're.
you're probably looking
Yeah,
at
you're tweaking.
Okay. Well, anyway, back to Penn State.
ESPN. Penn State cannot execute, and like they've been mediocre, like a solid team for years. They like Big Ten championship contenders for years, but they can't finish out a good season. Like,
Yeah.
oh, here comes Penn State again. Yeah, they're probably going to make it to the playoffs, but they're going to lose.
hmm
And unless they can break out of that systemic mediocrity, they're not going to go anywhere. I'm almost wondering if the head coach there, can't remember his name. I don't, he's built a solid system, can't execute at a high level or even finish, take care of these easy teams.
I mean, again, UCLA has not won a single game.
Yeah. I wonder if he just leaves, starts over somewhere else. Um,
Maybe. I'm surprised
I
Steve Sarkisian hasn't benched Arch Manning yet. Anyway,
he should.
but let's move on to another game that was surprising for some. I put Vandy to beat out Alabama. I think that
I
was
did
probably
not.
a little preemptive of my part. I mean, again, it's not like they performed poorly. They were winning until the end of the first half when Alabama scored that ridiculous touchdown at the end of the first half. They came back, tied the game up 14-14. And then again, Bama was home. Alabama fans know how to put pressure on the OA team. And I think it was just too much for Vanderbilt to compete with. But they played a good game. They didn't play poorly. It just again, you're
Yeah,
playing
no.
against Alabama, who is better than I think most people like myself give them credit for, even though Nick Saban's not around anymore. But it's a hard team to beat, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, I'm vindicated again. Alabama is not, they're not a bad
Your
team at
predictions
all.
suck, dude.
No, I was right about this one. I wasn't right about like any of the others, but I was right about this.
Congratulations, you got the Alabama beating Vanderbilt one, right? Good
Yeah.
job, dude.
Yeah,
You're a
I didn't see
genius.
them slipping again against Vanderbilt. They didn't have that tough loss to Florida State, and it wasn't a small loss either. They lost by double digits to Florida State, but they've come back. They beat Georgia, some other teams like Wisconsin and Louisiana Monroe. I don't think you can brag about those games, but they're a solid team. I definitely say top 10 team. I want to see them execute against a team that we know is solid, like maybe Oklahoma or LSU, um, which they have coming up in their schedule in November. So I'm excited to see those games. They definitely need to prove themselves still, but they're definitely a solid team and a team to be wary of. Ty Simpson in that game, just throwing this out there, he had 340 pass yards.
Wow.
Yeah, he has 478 yards in the season.
Total? Man.
Yeah.
What's Arch Manning's like 200?
I think it's like
Wait.
67.
Compare it really quick before we move on to Michigan, Wisconsin and finish out the college football. Compare that with Carson Beck and Julian Sand.
I'm trying.
Sorry. I
My
would
computer's
I
load
would
that
look
fast.
up too, but I can't for some
No, I
reason.
got it. Keep talking about stuff. I'll find it.
Well, we were gonna move on. I mean, I don't really know anything about Michigan except that I have really close friends that are fans of them. But
Oh,
yeah, I mean, we're really gonna close out with
that's
Michigan,
fine.
and so
Yeah, 1 second. Just let me pull that up. I'll keep talking while we talk about that. I think
it takes skill
to what?
to be able to talk and type at the same time. Like,
Yeah, it
that's
does.
what podcasters do is like, they're writing and they're trying to stall while they're going over the
I'm
just
stalling.
rambling on while they're pulling up, credible data to keep the conversation going. So
Audience, I would never stall. I just hope you know that. I would never stall at all. Um, I would
Cap.
never talk about stalling to stall.
Of
That's
course
not
not.
something I would do. I,
No.
I would never do that.
like you're doing right
Um,
now.
I
All
don't know what you're talking about.
right, you have them up?
What are you looking for, Jensen?
No. I'm
Okay.
slow.
Who did you pick up? Did you pick Carson or did you pick Julian
I
Sand? You
have
probably picked Sand.
uh, who's Carson Beck?
He's the Miami quarterback, dude.
Oh,
I'm trying. I swear.
He was
you don't know
dating
who
Hannah
Um,
Carson
Cavender
Beck
in a very
is?
high
I
profile.
don't know who Hannah Cavender is anyway. How about you look up Hannah Cavender for me?
No, we don't need to.
I
Everybody
need to.
knows about the Cavender twins.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, no, I don't know who that is.
Okay, anyway,
All right, you want to move on to
1 second.
NFL?
I have Carson Beck has 1,213. Julian saying it's definitely in the thousands. I don't think it's as high as the others. His completion percentage is insane. I think he only missed like I want to say he only missed 3 passes against Minnesota.
well, again, so the thing about Julian Sand is they've only played the hardest team they played was Texas, and that's not saying too much, but that was the hardest team they played. So, just keep that in mind that it's not like they're playing ACC games every day or every.
True,
So.
but they've taken care of business,
That's
you
true.
know?
I mean, look at his completion rate, right? That compares it. So
Yeah, I almost have it up. The Wolverines versus Wisconsin. It was a pretty close game, a lot closer than I would have anticipated. Two-score game. In college football, that's a little bit closer than in the NFL. In the NFL, if you beat them by 2 scores, it's like a blowout. Um, I think Wisconsin has fallen off the face of the earth. I remember back in the day, they used to be like this solid physical team that could run the ball well.
back in the day,
And
because you're so old.
back in the day, like 2019, they ran the ball well. They were a physical team. You knew you had a tough game coming up, especially if it was at home. You knew you had to focus up and not make stupid mistakes. And they have just completely fallen off. I don't know what happened. I don't know if a head coach left or what, but just terrible performance in these past few years. They're 2-3 on the season. Um, So unless they can right the ship somehow in their whole program, I don't see them being a Big Ten contender or even a national stage contender at all in the coming years. So Wisconsin game, you don't really have to worry about that. As for the Wolverines, I think they're a little bit overhyped.
I was just going to ask you because I don't really have any comments about the game specifically, but where do you see Wisconsin or where do you see Michigan when it comes to playoff specifics?
I think they're kind of on the edge. They've had some close games against some not great teams, I think, and I see a lot of like flaws in Bryce Underwood, the quarterback there. So I think if they can fix that, then they're on the edge. I think they're better than they were last year. Um, maybe playoff contender, maybe Big Ten championship, but I don't see them winning the Natty. They lost to Oklahoma, which is a great team. Um, their defense has not been playing very well. They've come up with some good stops, but against Wisconsin, they only had one sack, three tackles for loss, one pass deflection. Rushing, they're pretty solid. Passing, they're pretty good. I have seen some times where Bryce Underwood, it's like he's playing Moss or like 500 or something, and he'll just throw the ball up and start praying that it lands in his receiver's hands and doesn't get intercepted. I saw this a lot when they played Western Michigan, and you can do that sometimes. Like I saw Nebraska do that when they played Michigan, and that'll work like 40% of the time. But it is almost entirely luck, and you can't do that when you're playing these better teams. Like when they play Ohio State, you can't just throw it up and hope that your receiver catches it. You have to be calculated. You have to know and give him a chance to catch the ball. I think he's improved a lot since that game, though. Um, 19 for 28, 270 yards. So pretty solid on the offensive side of the ball. They are really missing that physicality that they used to have. And I think that has not helped them out. So, and then on the defensive side, they need to fix a lot of things. They need to get after the quarterback, get their pass rush going. Um, other than that, that's all I have for that game.
Chris, do you have any comments before we move on to the NFL?
I do not know.
Alrighty. Well, let's move on. Why don't you start us off with the Redskins, I'm sorry, the Commanders and the Chargers game?
Yeah. So obviously I'm a Commanders fan, so this week was very nice for me. Um, but Washington bounced back from a pretty bad game last week versus the Falcons. The Chargers also they also had a bad game last week, but they did not bounce back. In fact, they had a pretty bad game. Their offense was not clicking. I believe they scored 10 points in the first quarter, and then led up 27 straight points for Washington, and final score was 27-10. So they did not score in the final three quarters of the game. Washington's defense really stepped up. Washington's offense stepped up, especially with Jaden Daniels back. Bill or Merritt had like 112 rushing yards. He was just electric. So overall, very good game from Washington. I'm very concerned about the Chargers, though. Their line is very injured, and Herbert didn't play well. Their defense didn't play well. So if I was a Chargers fan, I'd be kind of worried that they've lost two straight. Last week, they lost to the Giants, who are not a good football team. So very interesting game from them, but very good game for Washington.
Yeah, I mean, again, I still have the Chargers winning the Super Bowl this year. I just think that that's a tough loss for Justin Herbert. And again, he is hurt. And again, he does have a lot of people on his team that are hurt, so he's not playing his peak. The question is, can he keep that up until the end of the season? Can he get Super Bowl? Can he be Super Bowl ready by the time the season comes to a wrap? And I don't like that remains to be seen, I guess. So, I guess we'll we'll wait to see. We've lost Jensen. He's having some technical difficulties right now. So we're gonna skip ahead to the Patriots versus the Bills. Um,
Yeah.
what this is when I say that we suck at predicting, this is what I mean. The Bills are 4-0. What were the Patriots? 1-3?
Patriots were
They're
maybe
2-3 now.
two
So
and
yeah, they
two
they had to have been
actually.
1-3 because they lost last time.
They were yeah, they were 2 and 2, and now they're 3 and 2. I feel like these games, the Bills have like one or two of them every year where like they're doing great, they're just like they're just playing awesome, and then they fall into this kind of like trap game. And Allen had like one pick, one fumble, which up until now, these past four games, he's had no interceptions. So that's probably the reason why they lost. May had a very good game. He was hitting his receivers very accurate. And the Bills defense was just not playing well. So very good game for the Patriots. Like they're at a pretty good spot right now, you know. They're 3 and 2, only one game behind Buffalo. They also obviously beat them. So I'd be encouraged if I was a Pats fan. But yeah, the Bills, I still think they're a top three NFL team, but they just sometimes they just can't, I don't know, but sometimes they just have these games. It was also in Buffalo, which is crazy. You'd think with the home field advantage, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean it's like again, I don't have any faith in the Patriots, so I don't see the Patriots like coming back from this. I think this is a lucky game. Again, I don't know what to think anymore since Penn State beat UC. I'm sorry, not beat. Since Penn State got shellacked by UCLA, and again, it may not have been like a huge win for them, like point wise, but just losing to them is a huge win for UCLA. Like just the fact that UCLA was able to beat them just in general, that's a huge that's a shellacking to be had. So
Yeah, it's absolutely wild. But I don't really mind the Patriots winning. But I prefer the Bills because obviously the Patriots won for so long. But May seems like a nice dude. Mike Vrabel's a pretty good coach. So yeah, I don't mind it.
yeah,
Next up, Broncos Eagles. That was a crazy game. Broncos obviously beat the undefeated Eagles.
yeah, Eagles. I mean,
Eagles, their offense, bro. Their offense cannot get going.
what happened to Saquon? Like, what was he
What
just
happened
like
to
sitting around? Did
Saquon,
he get
dude?
fat over the off season? Like, what in the
He,
world?
I think one like having so many carries last year. I think that probably just like I think that may have just like hurt him like physically and like mentally because he had over 2,000 yards, which is not like that is unheard of. Um, so like I don't know. I think that their offense is just they just can't. I don't know. They're not on the same page. The passing game was better yesterday, but the run game, Saquon had 6 carries, and that's just not a winning formula, especially for the Eagles, who last year Saquon was their offense.
Yeah, and
Just crazy.
I feel like they need the era of B Dawkins to come back for their defense. I mean, I feel like they have Brian Dawkins speaking tongues to the football and terrifying people. Like, I feel like the game would be much better for them. But aside from that, I mean, Saquon needs to step up his game. And again, I was saying for a while that I thought that the Eagles like the undefeated reign of the Eagles was going to end because their games that they were winning, like they were winning every game, but they were too close to be like, man, they got it this season. It was sort of like, and I think
Exactly.
you were saying this too, right? It was like, sure they might be winning, but they're so close that eventually they're going to break. Like, eventually the glass will break and you won't be able to put it back together. And I feel like that's where they're at right now. Is they played against I wouldn't say a too hot team. I mean, Denver ain't playing too hot right now. So, but I just feel
Yeah.
like a little pressure and that glass broke.
Yeah. I mean, Hurts definitely played better. I would say I'll say Hurts throws some of the best like long passes in like the whole league. Like he has such a pretty like deep ball. It's actually crazy. Um, but I don't know. They just could not finish the job yesterday. I think the run game's like their biggest issue because last year even the passing game was not like the best, but they had Saquon. But this year Saquon's getting 6 carries. That's crazy. Like,
It's awful.
I mean, you just have to just
Like
like
what
put the
changed?
ball in the hands of your best player.
Did they have a lineup change at all, or like a coaching switch up, or is
Well,
everything the same? I can't imagine
both
they changed up too much after winning the Super Bowl.
both of their coordinators, or no, the offensive coordinator left for a head coaching job. So they got a new offensive coordinator, and some of their line is hurt. And so much of their success with the run game last year was based on their just crazy line. Like they have at least 3 Pro Bowlers on it. They have a few All-Pro players on their line. But so some of them right now are injured. So I think that's also hurting their like vibe. But I mean, still, you have Saquon Barkley, you have AJ Brown, you have Hurts, you have Smith, like you have so many weapons that you just like one injury should not be able to like take away your whole run game.
Yeah, and I
It's
don't.
actually kind of
I mean,
crazy.
yeah, I mean, I see them coming back. I see them making the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't think they're going to
definitely.
make it past the first round, in my opinion. I think they'll lose. It'll probably be the Commanders, and I think the Commanders probably beat them. I don't think it's by a sweep, but I think that's probably who they'll end up playing, just like last time. And I think the Commanders are going to win this time, and it'll probably be the Commanders and the Chargers, and we'll see. I don't know. We'll see how that rematch goes. But that's just my. I don't know. We'll
Yeah.
see how it goes. But
I mean,
so
I have one more thought. I think that the Eagles, like last year, they weren't perfect either. Like the Eagles' best season was 3 years ago. It was in 2022, I think. That was like their best. I don't actually, nah. I mean, last year they had a crazy run game, but like last year's passing wasn't great. They definitely had some holes, but this season, I see similarities between this season and the season 2 years ago, where they were like 11-1 and then lost like 6 straight games and then lost to the Buccaneers in the first round of the playoffs. I just think there's something wrong about the vibe this year. Like the run game isn't going. Like the receivers are not very happy about not getting the ball. Hurts isn't playing amazing. Now Hurts is taking care of the ball. He has no picks or fumbles, but I think there's something up with the Eagles. But I think they have too much. I think that they have too many solid players to not make the playoffs.
yeah, and I don't think that there's anything that like I don't think someone's going to come out in like 2 months and be like, oh, that's what it was. I just think that I don't know. Some teams that do great one year and they have a terrible year the next, even with the same lineup. And I don't know. We'll find out, but that remains to be seen. Bucks versus Seahawks. I mean,
What a game.
I mean, my opinion about the Seahawks has changed. I mean, like, you know, I mean, they didn't win, but it came pretty darn close, and the fact that they brought it to overtime was pretty good. So, I mean, just what a shock. And again, I think that the Bucks are still good. The Bucks aren't defeated anymore, are they? They lost a game against somebody. No, they're 4-1, but they won yesterday. It was
Yeah.
last week, I think.
Yeah. That was one of the best games this year. Bucks walked it off with a field goal. And Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, they were both quarterbacks on the Panthers a couple years back. They both were cut because the Panthers thought they like were just bad players and just I mean both of them now are doing much better than the Panthers are, which is very ironic. Um, but yeah, Sam Darnold had a crazy stat line. He went 28 for 34, 341 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 pick. The pick was I believe it was like the last minute of the game. The ball bounced off of I think it was his O lineman, and then the Bucks picked it off, and that's what set up the game-winning field goal. Which that's a mistake, definitely. But I mean, he played so well. Like Baker Mayfield only had 4 incompletions. So combined, they had 10 incompletions, which is absolutely insane. Um, that's just that's one of the best games. But both teams played pretty bad defense because I think like there was a time where like there were six straight touchdowns and like their defenses were just not doing anything, which is probably why the Seahawks lost because they couldn't stop Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. And you know what? I feel like Baker Mayfield, now that he's playing for the Bucks, he like I said about Carson Beck, he is now, I think, more free to play his game. I mean, again, he's not a bad quarterback. I think he just because he was the Heisman Trophy winner back in, I don't know, what was that 2019, 2020?
Yeah.
Now, he got drafted by a crap team in the Browns, and then now he's playing on a good-ish team. I mean, they won the Super Bowl thanks to Tom Brady, but I think, he inspired a generation of good players on that team and good coaching. I mean, Tom Brady knew who to talk to, and now that team is sitting pretty. And Baker Mayfield gets to come in and inherit all that as a good quarterback. I think that they got a good shot of definitely making the playoffs. And I would say Super Bowl chances. I'm just going to say they're probably not going to make it this year, but who knows? You never know. And they didn't make it last year. So we'll have to see how it goes. But um, I'm just curious to see where that goes in the future. So
Yeah.
um,
I mean, they've been like ever since Brady was there, they've made the playoffs every year. They've won their division every year, and Baker Mayfield has played just very good football the past 2 years. This year, he's just better than ever. And he's had such good receivers. This year, he has the new guy from Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka, who is just popping
you
off.
pronounced that perfectly, by the way.
Thank you, thank you. I've been practicing.
Yeah.
And like he's played great. Buccaneers running back Bucky Irving is playing great. Now he missed yesterday, so they had Rashad White in for him, who also played very well. And obviously the Bucks defense is very good too. So I think they're a very good football team. Very well coached, very good quarterback. I think they can win a playoff game this year. I don't know how far they can get because they haven't really gotten far, but I think they can win a game. Uh,
Giants. I'm sorry.
Giants
Go ahead.
Saints.
Jim.
Um, yeah, final game, Giants Saints. This game is kind of crazy because the Giants lost. The Giants won against the Chargers last week, who
Yeah.
a Super Bowl contender, and they lost against the 0-4 Saints, which
This
is
is what I'm saying. What in the world
embarrassing.
is football? Like, I mean, they were what, 0-4? Is that what you said?
0-4, yeah,
Now they're 1-4? And
that's
this might be the only game they
baffling.
win. And the game they win is against the Giants, who beat the Chargers last week. Like, are you
Exactly.
are you crazy?
The Yeah, I mean, New York had five straight turnovers on five straight drives,
Yeah.
which is
Again,
laughable.
Russell Wilson is just I mean, he was great when he played for the Seahawks.
Russell Wilson, no, it's their new guy now,
Oh, did
Jackson.
they bench him?
Yeah, they actually benched him
Oh.
like 2 weeks ago. So last week,
Oh yeah,
um,
I knew that.
Jackson played, and this week was his second week, and he did not play well. He threw a bad pick and had a bad fumble.
Man, it's really sad for New York. I mean, again, I have family that's a big fan of New York, so it's kind of sad to see them so down. But you know, I mean, again, New York just ain't that hot of a team right now. And again, we're seeing that from a lot of different teams. And I just feel like I feel like they could be playing so much better, just like a couple other teams. But them in particular could be so much better, and they're not at their full potential right now. So I don't know, but we'll have to see where it goes in the future. And just like any game, I mean, again, they may slaughter the next. I don't know who are they playing next week.
I don't know,
Um,
but it's definitely a week to week league for sure.
they're playing. Wait, what? Where'd they go? The Eagles next week. Watch them beat the Eagles.
That'd be crazy.
That'd actually be that'd be a big game.
Um,
But
Lastly, I wanted to mention or shout out the Tennessee Titans for their crazy win over the
what a win!
Cardinals. Did you see that game?
I had the Cardinals winning that game. My pick'em
Me too.
stink this year or stunk this week.
Yeah, I was that was a crazy game because the Cardinals they're up 21-3 at the start of the fourth quarter. Now, that's that's just wild. Obviously, it's Cam Ward's fifth start in his whole career, and somehow the Cardinals lose that game, and they also so basically they had a 70-yard touchdown run that was called back because the guy let go of the football right as he crossed the end zone, which is this happens
Right.
this happens
Way too
way
often
too often.
to make
Like
that call.
last week it happened with the Colts. Like so that was a crazy play and basically because he fumbled it in the end zone, which means it's a touchback for the Titans. And then Cam Ward went down to the Cardinals like 12-yard line and then threw a pick. But then the Cardinals guy fumbled it, and then two other Cardinals players could not pick it up. And then the ball went into the end zone, and then a player on offense picked it up and scored a touchdown for the Titans. And then they went on to win. So
See, this will be nice when we get enough money from all of our wonderful viewers and subscribers who listen to us so faithfully, where we can like show you this footage. We can be like, all right, let's watch this and review it, and we can like
yeah,
actually react to it in real time. But we need more subscribers in order for that to happen, folks.
yeah, definitely.
But just a crazy experience, just crazy to see happen.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it live and it was wild because my friend was a pretty big Titans fan and he had like left to go to some like thing and then we were like, no, come back. This is crazy. Like they're actually gonna win. So yeah, it was just it was amazing. But that's about it for the NFL. It was a pretty bad week in terms of like matchups. You had the Cowboys and the Jets playing the Cardinals and the Titans. Is
Right.
some nasty games. Patriots, Bills, like those are just not fun matchups to watch.
And you know what? I feel like I'm not getting a connection from the announcers. I feel like I was listening to the Archman again, the Texas game, and they're like one of the announcers, one of them wasn't so much, but the other one was like going off about how we're seeing Arch Manning improving and maturing in front of our very own eyes, and he was just kissing right up to Arch Manning like in real time. Literally, this like the play or two plays after he said Arch Manning is maturing in front of our own eyes, he threw an interception.
Bruh.
And it was a bad interception. It wasn't like, oh, okay, like there's not much he can do about that. Like it was like he threw it right at the dude. And yeah, so not great. And again, whatever. I understand people play bad. And you know what? To Arch Manning's credit, he never said a hoot about him being a good player. He never said he was like he never came out and said he was gonna like he was looking forward to carrying on the Manning legend, and he never said anything about that. It's everyone who said all of his so-called viewers and fans who said he was the great, he like Paul Feinbaum, who said he was going to be the greatest football player of America since Team Tebow,
Yeah,
and like all those people now are out there calling him a fraud. He didn't say anything about how good he was going to be, so he's not
that's
a
true.
fraud. Anyone except you. You're the only one who said he was going to be a good player. So I feel like all these people who are calling him a fraud and a garbage player, it might be true that he's a bad player, but again, whose fault is that? That's not his fault about him, living up to not living up to your expectations.
That's
You're
a
the
very
one who
good
set
point.
that standard. What was that?
Yeah, I think like the media like always does. It's like they love like making this guy like just a like a legendary prospect, and then like once he shows some like I don't know, like I guess in this case like he's not really shown much good stuff, but like they just like switch up so fast, and like they were the ones like last month who were like Arch Manning's going like #1 overall, like he's like the next Patrick Mahomes, like
Right.
come
Yeah.
on. Come on.
And I mean,
Let's
again, he's just
realistic.
not used, I think, to many things, but especially not the defense. Because you saw that video I sent you, right? About him in high school.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that big chubby guy chasing him down. Like, okay, he's not. That's not what he's getting. He's getting 6'4", 5", 600 pound dudes coming to him with full intention to break him.
Yeah.
into pieces. Like he's not used to that. And again, it happens every play. He took a huge beating. Not to go back to Arch Manning, we'll wrap up here in a second, folks. But like he took a huge beating that game. I mean, he like even Steve Sarkisian at the end of the post game conference, he said that he got a tiny. He said he got a sting in his arm, so he got a small injury. Nothing huge, and it's not going to affect him from next week. But he's definitely going to be favoring that arm. And honestly, DJ Lagway got hurt too. Like he was really
Yeah.
favoring his leg. I thought he was going to get taken out, but he stuck it out. And even Patrick Livingston got hurt too. Like he made an epic save from a very poor throw by Arch Manning, and he ended up making that incredible save, like barely. But as he was trying to catch it, a Gators fan came out and just made a brutal, dirty hit. He headbutted his feet while he was
That's
while he
crazy.
was in the air
Yeah.
and flipped the guy over so he landed on his neck. I'm surprised he could have gotten fouled for recklessness. What's it called? Improper use of the head to the feet. Unsportsmanlike maybe even.
Yeah. Personal fouls.
He could have gotten so much that he got nothing, and he got taken out of the game and got brought back in the second half, which was a shock to everybody.
Dang.
But just what a game for Arch Manning. It's really sad. And again, if they couldn't beat Florida, I don't think they're going to beat Oklahoma. And if they don't beat Oklahoma, I think Steve Sarkisian ain't gonna bench him at that point, because if they don't make it to the playoffs, there's no point, right? The only reason to bench what's his face or Arch Manning would be to save Texas. And
Exactly.
if they don't make the playoffs, you might as well keep him in and get him more experience. Like he knows he's going to the NFL. It would just be for his benefit alone, you know.
I don't think he's going this year though, but I think we can definitely like go into this
Oh, definitely not. No, he's definitely not.
definitely
He,
not.
he's definitely gonna do his. He's definitely gonna play out his senior year, and he will probably be better. He definitely ain't getting the Heisman unless he has some serious um breakthrough in his career, and then he'll go. He'll get drafted probably in, like, I don't know, 105th pick overall. You know, and it'll be by probably, who knows, it might even be by a better team, and he might end up playing well, but he's gonna be a backup for the first 5 years of his career. So he's certainly not going to come out starting, like Patrick Mahomes right out of college. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's very hard to. But we will see how he plays next week, and we'll have that analysis for you guys. But we appreciate you guys listening. And this was about the same like this last time, but a lot of football breaking down here. But that's what we do. That's what we love to do for you guys.
Subscribe and you can get more content.
Yeah, definitely subscribe. We really appreciate it. We've earned 68 cents.
We've earned 1 cent more than last week, guys. Good job.
Right, which
Proud
was
of y'all. Keep it up. Keep the
67.
subscriptions coming.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much, guys. Have a good night.
Have a good night.